Today we're working on identifying key features of a graph. Where is the function decreasing? The function is decreasing from negative infinity to infinity. The arrows on both ends tell us that it'll keep going if our graph were large enough. So from negative infinity to infinity, it will be decreasing. What are the x-intercepts? X-intercepts is where it hits the x-axis, which is at x equals 2. What is the y-intercept? Y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis at y equals 4. Evaluate d of 4. d of 4 equals negative 4. What is the maximum of this graph? Notice how the arrows are at the end. Again, that means it's going to keep going. If our graph were larger, this would extend on both ends. So there is no maximum. It's going to keep getting larger. What is the minimum? Same idea. There's no minimum. This graph, if we were to extend it, would keep going down. There's no minimum. What's the domain of the graph? The domain is negative infinity to infinity. What is the range? Remember, ranges are y values. The range goes from negative infinity to infinity as well. Let's take a look at the next graph. Where is the function decreasing? We're looking for where the function is going down. Notice from here to the end, up here it's going up, and then all of a sudden it starts to go down. So where is it decreasing? From 0, and then it'll keep decreasing until it reaches infinity. 0 to infinity. What are our x-intercepts? We hit the x-axis in 2 points. It hits the x-axis right between negative 2 and negative 3, which is negative 2.5, and right between 2 and 3, which is positive 2.5. So our x-intercepts, x equals negative 2.5, and x equals 2.5. What is our y-intercept? Y-intercept is where it hits the y-axis. So that is y equals 3. Evaluate j of negative 2. J of negative 2 is equal to 1. Maximum. What's the maximum of this graph? So we're looking for the highest point. So our highest point occurs at 0, 3. What's the minimum? Notice how both ends of the graph have arrows. That means they're going to keep extending downward. So there's no actual minimum. It won't ever stop. It'll keep going down. So there's no minimum. What's the domain of the function? The domain is negative infinity to infinity. What's the range? Well, notice how it keeps going down. However, the highest point is 3. So the range goes from negative infinity, goes down all the way up, and it stops at 3. The axis of symmetry. What is the axis of symmetry? The axis of symmetry is x equals 0. It's along that dotted line that the left and the right side are a mirror image of each other. They're the same on both sides.